The lie of scarcity and the fatal attraction of passivity. You think you're stuck. You think you're financially limited because of the economy, or inflation, or your student debt, or your ungrateful boss. You tell yourself these stories to protect your deepest, most comfortable lie, that your financial state is something that happens to you, not something you create. You are wrong. You are not stuck because of circumstance. You are stuck because you are lazy, and you have outsourced your freedom to a paycheck that is actively trapping you in mediocrity. This isn't a conversation about passive income blueprints or budgeting apps. This is about integrity and ambition. Your current financial reality is a brutal, honest scoreboard of your personal drive. If you are chronically complaining about money, perpetually waiting for a raise, and consistently choosing comfort over cash flow, you are broadcasting a signal of profound financial passivity. The signal is not just repellent, it is the ultimate psychological limiter on your life, dulling your potential and systematically killing the energy dynamic in your relationships. This is the first shocking truth. Financial passivity is the ultimate anti-attraction currency. You wonder why dynamic, high-value partners, the ones who challenge you, the ones with genuine drive, seem to keep you in the friend zone or slowly pull away. It's because confidence is not just felt, it's demonstrated. When you walk through life perpetually worried about bills, dependent on a single source of income, or openly resigned to your debt, you are whispering low ceiling and high risk into the psychological air. High-value individuals are not looking for someone to save. They are looking for a co-creator. Your financial inertia suggests you lack the grit, the imagination, and the self-respect to solve your own problems. If you won't commit to the machine that generates your security, why should a quality partner invest their scarce time, emotional energy, and commitment in you? The belief that you must be passively reliant on a job market is a psychological handicap, and finding a side hustle that breaks this cycle is exponentially easier than you think. Stop insulting your intelligence with the deception about time. This is the second harsh realization. Your no-time argument is a meticulously crafted schedule of entertainment debt. Defend it all you want. You have 10 to 15 hours a week, maybe more, that you freely allocate to mind-numbing scrolling, binge-watching content that adds nothing to your life, or simply wallowing in worried passivity. That is 50 hours a month. That is an entire work week you are throwing into the void of distraction. You have decided that a fleeting, temporary dopamine hit from a digital distraction is more valuable than your long-term security. The fact is, a simple side hustle capable of generating an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, the money that wipes out annoying bills and buys you peace of mind, requires maybe 5 to 8 focused hours a week. You possess this time. You simply choose not to use it for self-improvement. The struggle isn't logistics. It's finding the courage to prioritize momentary effort over chronic long-term ease. This avoidance of effort manifests as perfection paralysis, the third brutal truth. You think you need a revolutionary idea, a fully optimized website, and a 3-year business plan to start earning. This is the comfort zone talking. This is the sophisticated, intellectual excuse designed to protect you from the terrifying reality of execution. The most effective side hustles, the ones that unlock the door to financial confidence, are born from monetizing your existing, boring competencies. You don't need to invent the next app. You need to identify one thing you are currently good at, one thing people pay for, and sell your time for it. Can you manage social media for a local dentist? Can you write a clear email for a busy executive? Can you assemble IKEA furniture for an elderly neighbor? Stop romanticizing entrepreneurship. Start executing a tiny, measurable task that generates cash flow immediately. The entry barrier is not a $10,000 course. It is the 60 minutes it takes to post a service on a freelance platform or tell 3 people what you can do for money. That is why finding a side hustle is monumentally easier than you think. The real difficulty is overcoming the ego that says, "I'm too good for simple work." The core takeaway, the small mindset shift that can create explosive change, is this. Shift your identity from a passive consumer to an active producer. Every time you successfully earn unexpected money, even if it's just $50, you are performing a powerful act of self-proof. You are proving to your subconscious that your effort is directly convertible into security and that you are not a helpless prisoner of your job. This small, honest effort generates financial confidence, a deep internal certainty that you can solve money problems on demand. This confidence is a type of resilience, and resilience is the ultimate nonverbal signal of high value. Stop negotiating with your desire for comfort. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan. Your current financial state is a direct result of the excuses you make every day. You don't need a business degree. You need a brutally honest moment in front of the mirror. The choice is binary: comfort and financial stagnation, or discomfort and the growth of genuine, attractive competence. Your wallet is waiting for you to tell it the truth. Burn the excuses. Go find $50 today. The addiction to emotional spending and the employee mindset trap. You broke the first layer of the lie. You accepted that you have the time and the competence. Now let's peel back the next layer, the internal mechanism of self-sabotage that keeps you poor, anxious, and perpetually available for distraction. This is the trap of the emotional consumer, and it is the direct psychological counterbalance to the active producer you need to become. The cycle works like this. You are miserable in your job. You feel restricted, undervalued, and financially trapped. That feeling generates stress and low-grade shame. Your brain, seeking immediate relief, demands dopamine. It doesn't want the delayed, hard-won dopamine of a successful side project. It wants the immediate, sugary hit of consumption. This is the fourth shocking truth. Your spending habits are a direct emotional coping mechanism for your lack of ambition. That new gadget, that unnecessarily expensive takeout, that impulsive purchase, these aren't necessities. They are emotional band-aids designed to temporarily fill the void created by your refusal to pursue genuine, rewarding effort. You are literally spending money to cope with the shame of not earning more money. This is the most destructive, self-perpetuating loop of financial immaturity, and breaking it is foundational to finding the time and capital required to make a side hustle easier than you think. Stop calling it retail therapy. Call it what it is: financial self-harm. The psychological engine that drives this consumption is the employee mindset. You are programmed to trade time for money. And more dangerously, you are programmed to believe that your self-worth is equal to your job title or your annual salary. This is the fifth harsh realization. The employee mindset is a psychological commitment to a ceiling, not a foundation for growth. It makes you risk-averse, complaint-driven, and utterly reliant on external validation: the raise, the promotion, the boss's approval. When you rely on this single pillar of income, every piece of bad news, a volatile market, a company restructure, a minor conflict with a manager, sends your stress and anxiety skyrocketing. Why? Because you have zero internal proof that you can generate cash flow at will. The side hustle is not just about money, it's about building anti-fragility. It is the psychological safety net that allows you to negotiate harder, walk away from toxic situations, and approach relationships with genuine abundance, not neediness. But there is a barrier far stronger than fear of failure, and that is ego. You heard us mention assembling IKEA furniture or managing a local business's rudimentary social media. Your ego screamed, "I'm too educated for that," or "that's not prestigious enough." This is the sixth brutal truth. Your ego is keeping you poor by insisting you only pursue sexy or high-status endeavors. You are paralyzed by the fear of looking like a beginner, a freelancer, or a hustler. This fear of status loss is the anchor holding you to stagnation. The disciplined producer understands that all money is green, and that the fastest path to building capital and competence is through the unsexy, immediate work that solves real, simple problems for real people. You must kill the ego that demands a fancy title and embrace the reality that humble, immediate cash flow is the only thing that buys you the freedom to pursue the big, sexy ideas later. Starting small and dirty is not a compromise. It is the most effective psychological tactic for making the side hustle easier than you think. Stop calling it retail therapy. Call it what it is: financial self-harm. The repercussions of this mindset leak directly into your relationships. When you carry the weight of financial anxiety, the debt you refuse to acknowledge, the single point of failure in your income, you become a burden to your partner. You are not a co-pilot, you are dead weight in the plane. Your low ambition requires your partner to carry all the risk, all the planning, and all the what-if scenarios. This is where respect dies. Respect is built on the certainty of reliability and effort. When your partner observes your hours of passive consumption alongside your chronic financial complaining, they lose respect for your capacity to contribute and protect the future. Your side hustle isn't just a financial solution, it's a profound act of respect toward your partner and your relationship. It is proof that you are actively building a shared life of security and abundance, not just passively hoping for it. The clear takeaway for this section: embrace the scrappy producer identity and monetize the obvious. Stop searching for the hidden perfect niche. Look around your immediate environment and list 5 simple, high-demand, low-ego services you could offer today. The moment you start generating revenue outside of your job, you fundamentally change your psychology from one of scarcity to one of capability. Every $100 earned from your own direct effort is worth more in psychological confidence than $1,000 earned from a dependent paycheck. Stop hiding behind the false dignity of your job title. Get scrappy, get honest, get paid. Your financial freedom is not some distant dream reserved for gurus. It is a small, honest, immediate action that is easier than you think, if you are brave enough to execute it imperfectly. The fear of leverage and the illusion of safety. You broke the second layer of the lie. You've exposed emotional spending as financial self-harm, and you've accepted that the employee mindset is a psychological commitment to a ceiling. Now, we confront the deepest, most insidious barrier that keeps you playing small: fear. Specifically, not the fear of failure, but the far more crippling fear of leverage, the fear of gaining genuine, independent power. You are avoiding the side hustle not because you fear losing money, but because you fear gaining competence. Gaining competence means you lose your excuses. It means you have to finally confront the uncomfortable truth that you could have done this years ago. The moment you prove you can generate income on your own terms, your passive life becomes indefensible. The effort to overcome this specific psychological block is infinitely easier than you think once you redefine what risk truly means. Let's dismantle your pathetic concept of security. You crave safety. You think the stable middle management job, the fixed paycheck, and the predictable 40-hour week constitute safety. This is a fatal delusion, a psychological crutch for your lack of ambition. The 7th shocking truth is this: the most dangerous place is the middle. True safety is not having one income source. True safety is having the ability to generate income from 5 sources. When 100% of your financial security rests on the decision of one boss, one company, or one market cycle, you are living a life of extreme concentrated risk. You are completely leveraged against yourself, a financial hostage waiting for the next layoff notice. The side hustle is the ultimate act of de-risking your life. It is the proactive construction of a personal financial safety net, and it buys you the single greatest asset: negotiating power. You cannot negotiate your salary, your schedule, or your freedom when the failure of that one job means financial collapse. Your current safe choice is a desperate, passive act of financial weakness. Stop pretending failure is the issue. Failure is just information, a tuition payment for the next lesson. You fear success. This is the 8th harsh realization. You subconsciously fear success more than failure. Why? Because success demands more.
It demands consistency, visibility, scaling, and the difficult, uncomfortable task of managing clients, setting boundaries, and collecting payments. It forces you to spend less time on distraction and more time on high-output activities. You are terrified that if you taste success with a side hustle, you will be compelled to abandon your cozy, complaint-ridden life. You fear the responsibility that comes with genuine freedom. You fear the necessary evolution, the shedding of the comfortable, passive version of yourself. You are subconsciously capping your effort to ensure the results never get too good, because then you'd have to make a harder, more fundamental life choice. You are actively preventing your own rise. Your effort must generate something you truly own. You spend 40 hours a week honing skills for someone else's quarterly report. You are building their legacy. The side hustle forces you to package your skills into a product or service that generates value exchange directly with the market. This is the difference between having competence, which your job owns, and externalizing competence, which you own. The ninth brutal truth is that your competence is non-transferable until you sell it. When you successfully complete a side project, you own the case study, the testimonial, and the proof of concept. This is personal leverage. This asset is non-transferable, cannot be fired, and permanently increases your market value, regardless of what your current job says. This leverage translates into magnetic attraction because it signals genuine self-sovereignty, a capacity for independent success, and a refusal to be a burden. That is raw, unshakable confidence. The clear takeaway and critical mindset shift for this section: shift your definition of risk. The risk is not in starting, the risk is in relying on a single point of failure. Adopt the asset mindset. View every hour spent on your side hustle not as work, but as capital investment into your future self. You are buying time, options, and freedom. Focus on minimum viable execution. Get one $10 client. Prove the concept of value exchange. This single act is the psychological bridge to financial freedom. This is what makes building your security exponentially easier than you think once you redefine what risk truly means. Burn your safety blanket. Stop thinking about how much money you could lose and start thinking about how much of your life you are currently losing by not taking action. Your excuses are weak, your potential is not.
The currency of freedom and the final reckoning. You've reframed risk. You've accepted the asset mindset. You know the job is a risk and the hustle is your safety net. You've overcome the fear of leverage. Now we look at the ultimate psychological payoff in the final act of self-sovereignty required to make this change permanent. This is about buying the only two things that matter in a high-value life: time and choice, the true currencies that fuel magnetic attraction and unshakable confidence. The most profound impact of your inaction is felt not in your bank account, but in the relationships you claim to value. This is the 10th shocking truth. Your low ambition is a time tax on your loved ones. When you refuse to pursue financial freedom, when you passively accept scarcity, you force those around you, your partner, your children, your family, to pay a time tax. Your partner has to work harder, worry more, and sacrifice their own ambitions to compensate for your passive reliance on one income stream. This is a profound act of selfishness disguised as stability. It is the silent killer of desire and respect. Your partner wants a co-pilot who is equally engaged in planning the future, not a passenger who waits for instructions. The ultimate act of love and respect is generating a surplus, a cushion of money and time that allows your loved ones to pursue their own passions without crippling financial fear. Your side hustle isn't just a financial endeavor, it is a declaration of love and a commitment to partnership. You have been waiting for the stars to align, for the clouds to part, for the perfect idea that requires zero effort and maximum return. This is the last pathetic remnant of the scarcity mindset.
The 11th harsh realization is that the barrier isn't capital, it's activation energy. The difficulty of starting a side hustle isn't the skill required, which is easier than you think. It's overcoming the activation energy, the immense psychological resistance to beginning any new unfamiliar task. This resistance manifests as research, optimization, and perfect planning. It is all just passive delay. The solution? Brute force the first 10 hours. Commit to 10 hours of focused, imperfect, paid effort. You won't make much money, but you will destroy the activation barrier. The momentum generated in those 10 hours will sustain you for the next 100. Action is the engine, momentum is the reward. Now look forward. What does 10 years of this passivity look like? The 12th brutal truth is the final verdict. You will regret your comfort more than your failures. In 10 years, you will not remember the small side hustle that failed after 3 months. You will remember the decade you spent complaining about money while you wasted hundreds of hours on cheap distractions. The emotional cost of regret, the slow burning poison of knowing you chose ease over potential, is infinitely higher than the emotional cost of failure. Failure is a teacher. Regret is a permanent cage. You must shift your motivational anchor. Stop being driven by the anxiety of bills. Start being driven by the fierce, non-negotiable desire for time sovereignty. The final clear takeaway and ultimate mindset shift? The side hustle is your time machine. Every dollar earned through independent effort is an hour of life you buy back, an hour you can spend on health, relationships, or true passion projects. You are no longer trying to start a side hustle. You are now the producer. This is your identity. You solve problems for money and you do it on your terms. This shift is what makes generating income easier than you think because it becomes an identity-driven expression of self-respect. Your potential is not a commodity to be traded for a fixed wage. It is a resource to be leveraged, and it is the single most attractive asset you possess. Stop settling for the minimum wage of your potential. Stop sacrificing your integrity for comfort. The game is simple, the entry fee is low, and your excuses are weak. Your freedom is waiting for the one simple, honest action you've been putting off. Go execute.
The integration of competence and the high-value signal. You have reached the final layer of psychological transformation. The side hustle is no longer about the money. It's about the identity. It's about the proof you carry in your core, the deep, unshakable knowledge that you are a producer, a solver, and a person who is not afraid of the market. This internal shift is the high-value signal that cuts through noise, silence, and all your past self-doubt. You must integrate this competence so it becomes an automatic, non-negotiable component of who you are. The truth is, the 13th shocking truth, high-quality partners are not attracted to your income level. They are attracted to your effort capacity. They are looking for the proven ability to face a problem and generate a solution, regardless of the challenge. That side hustle, that small business you built from nothing, is an undeniable, continuous demonstration of that capacity. It shows grit, self-reliance, emotional maturity, and foresight. Your primary job might give you a title, but your side hustle gives you depth. It shows that your competence extends beyond the safe confines of a job description. This complexity is what separates the long-term, magnetic partner from the temporary attraction based on superficial factors. You are not just stable, you are dynamic. Stop chasing the mythical work-life balance. That phrase is a psychological construct designed for the passive employee. The 14th harsh realization: your hustle is not work-life balance, it is work-life integration. A healthy person produces. When your side hustle is aligned with your competence and driven by a desire for freedom, it stops being a burden and starts being a creative outlet. It becomes an extension of your self-respect. You are no longer dividing your life between work, the thing you endure, and life, the thing you escape to. You are creating a life where productivity is your expression. This integration generates a sense of holistic purpose that makes you an infinitely more engaged, interesting, and mentally present partner. The energy you bring to your relationships will rise because you are no longer draining your vital reserves on emotional consumption or passive complaint. You are operating from a surplus of self-created value. The ultimate danger is falling back into the passive waiting trap. You might look at your successful side income and think, I've done enough. You might be waiting for a macroeconomic shift, an inheritance, or some external event to grant you freedom. This is the 15th brutal truth. Passive waiting for a lottery, inheritance, or promotion is a form of self-contempt. It is the ultimate statement that you believe the universe owes you success and that you are incapable of generating it yourself. This belief system is repellent. The disciplined producer never waits. They understand that success is a game of compounding actions, not singular lucky events. The side hustle isn't a temporary solution. It's a permanent commitment to earning your freedom every single day. The continued effort is the highest form of self-respect you can practice. The ultimate integration of this mindset is the unbreakable confidence loop. You started the side hustle because you felt scarce and anxious. You kept going because you realized it was easier than you think and it gave you $50. Now the loop closes. The $50 gives you time. The time gives you energy. The energy gives you better health. The better health gives you clarity in relationships. The clarity attracts high-value partners. And the confidence from that attraction reinforces your belief that you are capable of solving any problem. The side hustle was the key that unlocked the entire system. It was the first act of self-proof that proved all your previous excuses were lies. The final clear takeaway: replace external validation, job title, with internal validation, self-proof. Your worth is not determined by the name on your office door. It is determined by your daily capacity to create value and solve problems without external supervision. This shift in validation is the core of genuine, unshakable confidence, and it is the magnet that defines high-quality relationships. Never again let one person, one company, or one job define your capacity to earn. You are the market. You are the producer. You know the truth now. The journey was not about finding a perfect idea. It was about destroying the mountain of excuses you built around a task that was always easier than you think. Stop talking about the change. Go embody it.